Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going through 3 life lessons that I've learned from lifting weights, and I'm also going to take you through a push session as we go. We're here at training station, as usual, home gym. Been to Dubai, trained in some fucking unbelievable gyms, and now we're back in the home gym. It's a little bit shit in comparison, but it's good to be back home and getting stuck back into training. So we're going to run dumbbell press first on a slight incline. Now I always, whenever I'm programming dumbbell press, I'll put it first because it's such a neurologically taxing movement. If you do it second, third, fourth, it's going to be very difficult to get the most out of it because it takes so much coordination. When you're in a fatigue state, you're probably not going to be able to get the most out of it. So I'm going to stick this in first. I like it on a slight incline for me because when it's completely flat, I get a bit of shoulder impingement. If we put it on a slight incline, I can put my shoulder in a bit more of a comfortable spot and just get a bit more out of the movement. The most awkward bench on the fucking planet. Will he get them up? I was going to go for that last one there. It's not happening. One of the things that's important to think about when you're doing a dumbbell press or even a barbell press or anything that's free weight is the proximity to failure. Sometimes we don't necessarily have the ability to go so close to failure when it's a free weight simply because of the increased injury risk. So on dumbbells there, you see on that last set, I probably, with a spot, could have maybe eked out another one, and I was going to go for it, and I got to the bottom and I was like, there's actually very, very low likelihood that this is going to go up on my own. If I go for this rep, I could do it. Fatigue will go through the roof. I probably won't get the rep. There's a high likelihood for injury because fatigue is so high, and I'm not really going to get much more out of going for that extra rep. So I decided to call it. So sometimes calling a set early when you think you might have a little bit more in the tank is actually not a bad thing. So guys, life lesson number 1 from lifting, you learn by doing. So when I first started lifting weights, I thought I knew absolutely everything. I got A star in biology, got A star in PE in A level, and absolutely just thought I knew everything. Came into the gym, knew loads of stuff about the actual physiology, could read the textbook, could recite the textbook, everything you fucking need to know about training, like practically in the science and all that, but then I had shit physique. And the more and more that I've actually gone through my physique journey, I've realised that like the books are great and they're great guidelines for you, but you actually learn how to contract the muscle by training. You learn how to actually push yourself to failure through training. It's all well and good saying, oh, well, I know the science behind man-muscle connection and I know the science behind training to failure, but if you can't actually fucking do it, then it's absolutely irrelevant. That's why we see a lot of people who are talking in the fitness industry about what should be done. You need to do this, you need to do that, but they've got shit physiques. You generally shouldn't listen to them because they haven't actually gone through the process of it themselves. They haven't actually gone through it and done it themselves, so they can't really relate to you if they're trying to bring you the same result. So biggest life lesson with advice number 1 is you learn by doing. So you have to get stuck in and you have to throw yourself into the deep end. I think one of the most important things when you're doing any chest press, and it's a little bit harder to think about and get a great connection on the incline, but when you're doing any sort of chest press, think about driving the bicep across your chest rather than just moving the load. You'll always make sure you get a better contraction, therefore bigger chest, more growth, all that. So life lesson number 2 is don't always trust yourself, because sometimes you may believe something to be absolutely true and you might have a really strong belief and it's completely wrong. And I learned this from the gym from when I first actually started training. I thought I was training hard, and then he was actually my old manager in the first personal training studio that I worked at. He's now a friend, a colleague, and he came and trained legs with me and absolutely completely broke my beliefs, obliterated me in the session, showed me that what I was doing before was absolute dog shit, and I truly believed that I was training very hard. He showed me a whole new level. And so I learned at that point, you actually can't always trust yourself. And this also goes into actually programming. How many times do I have conversations with clients where they're saying, oh, I'm fucked, I need a deload, this, that, and the other. And we just make a small mindset shift. I ask them, like, do you actually need a deload? Do you actually look at the objective data? They don't need a deload, but they've got it in their mind that they do. How many times do people feel a little bit fat in the gaining phase and they trick themselves into believing that the best thing that's actually what's best for them right now in their physique journey is to go back into a diet, when actually it's not. You just feel fat and your emotions are actually running the show. You need to look at things logically sometimes, and that's why it's very useful to have someone else to be accountable to, so that when sometimes your emotions get the better of you or your vision is clouded, you can have someone external who's impartial to the situation to come in and show you exactly what needs to be done. So far we've gone from dumbbell press. I explained why we put that at the start of the session. We then went on to a Smith incline because for me, big steady, I'm trying to bring up his chest. We're now doing a third press, which is a shoulder press. And honestly, now when we're doing 3 presses back to back at a decent level of intensity, it's going to be very fatiguing, so we can't really run too much volume. So that's why we've only done 2 sets on the dumbbell press. We've done 2 proper sets on the Smith, and then a bit of a light back off set. We're now only going to be doing 2 sets on this one. We're actually looking at the volume for the session, really. Doing 6 proper working sets for pressing movements. Now I see a lot of people who are doing 10, 15 pressing sets, and it's just a little bit overkill. You don't necessarily need that in order to grow. You need to train hard and heavy with great intensity. With a decent amount of volume, it doesn't need to be 10 to 15 sets. Dirty. So we've came to the most awkward section of the gym where there's tinny Method Man being played in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. There's no music whatsoever. But we've got dumbbell lateral raises now. So if you notice, towards the end of the set on the lateral raises, usually what I'll do is I'll do some partials at the end, do the dumbbell lateral raise. It's, if you think about it, if you hold the dumbbell there, it's not very heavy at all. Hold it up here, it's very, very heavy. So we often fatigue up here much quicker. You can't complete the rep because it gets so heavy up top. But we can still do lots of work down here. So when we get to the point where I can't complete a rep with good form and finish a rep off fully, we've still got more to work, we've still got more to give. So we bounce out some partials usually on dumbbell lateral raises. So life lesson number 3, consistency wins. So there's something you can apply to all areas of your life, but we get shown it properly in the gym because there's so many people with great genetics who will smash it for 6 months, a year and be in fucking amazing shape. And you see them 2 years later and they've completely lost all the results. They're not in great shape, their confidence is on the floor because they weren't consistent. They didn't actually set habitual behaviors. They didn't follow through with what they were doing for long enough to be able to actually sustain and excel to the highest level. They did okay and they got okay results. The people who don't necessarily have the greatest genetics, but were consistent for 3, 5, 10 years, develop fucking incredible physiques, and that's something that you can take on for business, in relationships, in every area of your life. If you're not consistent for long enough, you will not excel and get to the heights that you're looking to achieve. So we're just finishing off with 3 straight sets of bicep curls and rope tricep extension. Fuck. We're doing a rope tricep extension. We want a long rope. We don't want to be using a dead short rope. If you only have access to short ropes, get 2 of them and attach them both so we have effectively a makeshift long rope. And when we're doing it, it gives us the ability to keep our elbows narrow to the body rather than as we come in, we've got a short rope, we're rotating inwards. When we keep the elbows narrow to the body without internal rotation, and then from there, we can get the best contraction for our tricep. Guys, that is the video wrapped up. I thank you for watching the full entirety of this video. I hope that you resonate with the life lessons that I've learned from lifting, and I want to ask you if you have any life lessons that you've learned from your training so far. Please put it in the comments below because I'd be very interested to hear it. And again, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, subscribe, like, share it with anyone you think would find it valuable, and I'll see you in the next video.